Okay. Alright, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our respected lecturer, Dr. Kamandi, and also my fellow classmates. So today, I have a confession to make. So I used to believe that waking at 5 a.m. every morning and studying non-stop were the only way to succeed. And then I would believe if I don't do these things, I would feel like a complete failure. And then TikTok would show me lives that seem perfect. You know, like perfect smiles, perfect routines, and everyone seems to be either a billionaire or a CEO of something. And this situation would send me spiraling into questions of why can't I be like them, or why am I not like them? So, have you ever found yourself in this situation where you feel like your individuality is being stripped away from you, where you feel like you're being forced to walk in shoes that are too loose to be yours, or you're being forced to wear clothes that are not even that doesn't even suit your fashion sense, and yet you're still expected to walk in that costume just because everybody seems to do the same thing as you. So I want to ask you guys, do you guys know who actually set up this system? How does this mindset even begin, or what is actually this mindset? So today, I will going to reveal you guys the culprit, which is the modern perfectionism. It is a modern obsession with perfectionism, where every single one of us are expected to be assimilated into one single definition of perfection, which is augmented or made worse by the rise of social media platforms. And today, I will be educating you guys on how this problem has become an issue in our society through the psychology behind it and the impacts, as well as how do we cope with this situation by having self-compassion. Okay, so now I want you guys to take a look at the screen in front of you guys. So this might be some of the people on the internet you compare yourself with. Maybe you have seen or you have passed by their TikTok or their Instagram, their videos, their posts, but this is the actual reality of their lives. Some would go as far as renting houses, cars, and even pets before taking pictures and put it on the internet just to appear wealthy and claim it as their lifestyle, which is very fake. And some would even spend hours and hours taking pictures, posing in front of their cameras, or selecting and editing their pictures before putting them on the internet, and claim that to be the real version of them. This is why everything on the internet is in the internet or over social media is curated and filtered. And let's be honest, before we post our picture on the internet, we're going to select the best version of ourselves when we don't look bloated, when we look slim and beautiful, right? Yes. And then this will create a false standard of living. This false standard of living is going to affect our society. Why? Because when our society is being constantly fed with this aesthetic, with these idols online, it will become something normal to them. They will feel like, oh, this is what our generation should be achieving. This is what our generation should be doing. When it is not even half of the actual truth. They will feel, and this will create a big pressure, especially on the younger generations. And also today, everything on social media tends to lead to confusion between reality and also illusion, especially with the rise of artificial intelligence, where anyone on the internet can edit themselves into a model, or they can just generate any picture of a random man or a random woman and put it on the internet and then claim it to be themselves. And according to a study, there's a sharp rise in perfectionism among younger generation, especially because of this equation, because how society keep pressuring them to achieve these high standards. Now let's take a look at the psychology behind this compare themselves with each other. And this comparison goes in two ways, which is the upward comparison and also the downward comparison. So for the upward comparison, there's a negative side and a positive side. So upward comparison is basically when you compare yourself with someone who seems to be way better than you. And then sometimes on the negative side, it will result in feeling of envy, dissatisfaction, or lower self-esteem. Meanwhile, on the more positive side, you might experience hope, feeling like you're being inspired or motivated. Meanwhile, the downward comparison is the stark contrast of upward comparison, where you feel when you compare yourself with someone who is far worse off than you, and you might either experience gratitude or scorn. However, our society is situated. Our society is situated on the more negative side of upward comparison. This can be proved with the existence of highlight reel effect. You might be asking, what is actually highlight reel effect? So highlight reel effect is an effect where it tricks you to compare yourself, your daily life with a stranger's best moment on the internet, and this will feel fear of missing out, or we know as FOMO. Next, we're going to dive a bit deeper into the impacts of social comparison. So, some of the impact of social comparison across 121 studies, it is revealed that people with a perfectionistic tendency tend to have anxiety, depression, OCD, and especially burnout. And also, 60% of students with perfectionistic tendency says that their academics are being affected, especially by the burnout effects. And this will worsen in the long run and extends into our adulthood, in which you might find yourself to get involved in toxic relationships just because you constantly feel you are insecure, and you might experience social withdrawal and also difficulty handling conflict. Okay, so we're going to dive a bit deeper into the effect through a trend called looksmaxing. I'm pretty sure some of you guys already know what is looksmaxing, because this trend is very popular on online forums, especially on TikTok. It is where people think there are so many ways for you to attain the highest form of beauty one could possess. So at first, it's going to start where it seems very harmless. Like starting with dieting and doing basic skincare routines, and then gradually you will find yourself to engage in unhealthier habits, which is like extreme dieting or exercise that causes you physical strain, or taking dangerous supplement that causes you to have eating disorders. Now, we have seen through the impacts, we have seen through the psychology behind it. So now let's take a look at how do we cope with this situation. So, however, this situation is not as black and white as it seems. According to Curtin University, the usage of social media alone does not cause anxiety and depression, but rather how we use these platforms. It was never about the people who brag about their success. It was never about the people who put their success on the internet, but it's rather about our perspective on these matters. So this is where self-compassion comes into the play. Self-compassion is basically treating ourselves with kindness, accepting imperfection, and also rejecting harsh self-judgment. When we have self-compassion, we will set healthy boundaries, even offline and during online, and we would do things like follow toxic content and engage with uplifting content. So, before I conclude my speech, I want to say that perfection is not found in your flawlessness, but it's how you embrace your flaws. And we are human, we are not meant to be perfect. Remember that not everything that is normalized is normal, and remember that you are not your flaws and you don't have to be like other people. because when you're being mature, you know exactly what to believe and what to not believe, and you will understand. Oh, this is not relevant for me to believe, and this is probably relevant. And yeah, that's it.
Do you think being confident is also an important trait to have?
Yes, I think confidence is also an important trait to have because you don't feel constantly pressured to follow everything on the internet. You don't easily get FOMO, and you know you are more than how you look. You are more than your success.
Okay. So,
Sorry, I can't really hear you.
Just now, there's a slide that shows that some influencers actually making their lifestyle. But if that's their only way to, that is their only source of income.
That's your only source.
Of income, yeah. What is your thoughts?
So basically, you're asking, what if that is their only source of income?
Yeah, by making their lifestyle.
by faking their lives.
The relevance.
Yeah, your thoughts on that.
So my thoughts on it, they could have done a lot of other things rather than just faking their lifestyle. Because say that is their only source of income. Then they are faking their lifestyle by renting houses, by renting pets. It uses a lot of cost, and it will, how do you say this? It's like a cycle of cost you're being trapped in, and you could have used that money to do a lot of other things. Maybe open up a booth, start a business, rather than just faking your life and risk yourself getting exposed on the internet